to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We want to thank every single person that supports us on Patreon. We do share the news still on Patreon, so if you still want to know what's happening in Africa from a different perspective, go ahead and consider joining for as little as $2 a month. And thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel and who is coming with us on this spiritual journey. There's so much, beloveds, that has been hidden from us because I told you we've been kept as infants spiritually for so long. And now when we're required to make adult spiritual moves, many of us don't even know what that looks like. We don't understand the damage that was done, and we have no idea what the solutions are, regardless of whether we want to save Africa or not save Africa, etc., etc. And I think, it's very important that we also recognize that our people are part of the problem, and that, because there's a law of correspondence. I've told you guys there's 7 major laws that are kind of the foundation of how things operate here. It's more of a science than a philosophy or a belief, and one of them is the law, as above, the law of correspondence, as above, so below, as inside, so outside. And for everything to have happened to our people is because our people were doing this to our people to a certain extent. And of course, the wicked ones through the Babylon system came and took that to a whole other level. And it's really important. I'll actually do a separate show on the law of correspondence, just touching on it a little bit. But the reason I bring this up is because there was an email that was shared with me. By the way, if you have any interesting stories, spiritual, Dr. Mumbi at drmumbishow.com is where you can reach me. And she was talking about how, she's kind of on this awakening journey and she's struggling with the religious psychosis. And then when she was meditating, she remembered that Cecil Rhodes, the one who invented the Rhodes Scholarship, but basically the king of apartheid, the architect of apartheid, is buried in one of the most sacred shrines of our people in Southern Africa, the most sacred, and he insisted on it. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the power of our shrines? Because I told you guys, beloveds, that they came and they destroyed all our shrines on our mountains. You can check it out on Deuteronomy 12. I did that video, I think, the previous Sunday or something like that. And they literally destroyed all our sacred homes, sacred places, removed their names, etc., etc. And that was in the scriptures. And some people are saying, it was the pharaohs and the Jews and I don't know what. But for me, as an Agekoyo woman, Mumbi, I know that my ancestors communed with nature and they found God in nature. The God that they talk about, they found so many wonderful things in nature. But anyway, I'm not going to get too into that. But now, beloveds, ask yourselves, if the shrines don't matter, if the African shrines don't matter, if they're so wicked, why would the architect of apartheid insist, beloveds, on being buried at the most sacred shrine? And by the way, I think, was he president of South Africa? I think so. But he actually insisted on being buried in Zimbabwe. And, his gravesite. And what happened is before, even currently, the place, it's called the Njelele Shrine. It's inside a sacred cave on the southwestern edge of Zimbabwe's Matopos National Park. There's something about all these national parks. I told you the national parks actually have, our diamonds, our gold, etc., etc. And the national park was created to keep us from our own treasures. stories for other days. But, in Zimbabwe, people go to the Njelela shrine, if they want luck in marriage. Politicians go there and perform, certain rituals so they can win elections. Couples struggling to conceive will ask their ancestors for help there, etc., etc. The locals believe that the shrine even has power to bring rain, and it was actually a rain-making shrine back in the day. But now, all of a sudden, what happened is that when Cecil Rhodes died, he was actually buried there, just a few meters from the shrine. And then now, since over time, many students go there, student buses go there, and guess who has replaced the Africans who used to go there? The Mzungus. It has become a major Mzungu pilgrimage. Get that, beloveds. The architect of apartheid, which was the most wicked system amongst our people and lasted the longest. Mzungus from all over the world will climb those mountains to go worship him at our shrine. So what do you think our ancestors are feeling? Of course, the spirit of that place, do you think it's happy? Of course it's angry. And by the way, it's not like our people haven't been trying to do anything about it. For such a long time, there has been, since the 80s, there's been a long running campaign to have the remains of Cecil Rhodes exhumed and returned to the divided kingdom. Like, that has been an ongoing chorus. But of course, the government has wanted to keep it because they make so many tourism dollars from it. Can you imagine? You take your ancient shrine, you allow a foreigner, a foreign occupier, a foreign oppressor to come and have his remains there with his partner, by the way. And then on top of that, now even the government even allows it more so that many pilgrims can come. And to make it worse, our African children, our melanated children are taken there. Hundreds and thousands every year. And guess who to go see Cecil Rhodes? They're not told this was the ancient shrine of your people. They don't even visit. There's a king. I think he's called Michele Kazi or something like that, who's buried literally 3 kilometers away from Cecil Rhodes. But guess what? Our melanated children go see Cecil Rhodes and they don't even know the king's buried 3 kilometers away. They don't even care. So why do you think Zimbabwe and South Africa are the way they are, beloveds? Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa on Dr. Mumbi Live. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, beloveds. Go ahead and like and share this video. And, why is Africa where it's at? It's because we're playing checkers when the entire world is playing spiritual chess. And we are not even at the decision-making level because we're just not there spiritually. And I think we're always trying to fix things within the Babylon system, which can never work, instead of doing one of the things that, our ancestors recommended, rebuilding our destroyed shrines. Nothing will work until we rebuild our destroyed shrines. And, it's so shocking sometimes when we see how few people actually respect our shrines. Many of those who are suffering from a religious psychosis or from, the cultural invasion psychosis, really don't see the value. But ask yourselves, why our people go there every year? And why would Cecil Rhodes and his homosexual partner insist on being buried at the most sacred shrine of our people? And, there's a high priest who was consulted because, Zimbabwe has not just been sitting idly by allowing this to happen, but the people at the top have allowed it to happen for the few dollars. But they don't understand the spiritual implications, because there was a high priest who was interviewed and he was talking about how the spirits of the land are angry. And so, of course, they've turned on our people. They're not going to work with our people. They're not going to help our people to liberate themselves when you have the foreign remains of someone. And then it has become a pilgrimage spot for the Mzungu. So it's almost like they've overlaid our sacred ancestral spot and tried to make it their sacred ancestral spot. And so if these are the kind of things that we need to be getting behind, beloveds, because the politics of this world, everything that's happening, we can't change that at the physical level, because the world is mental first. And so everything happens behind the scenes before we're even seeing it. If you're responding to what you're seeing, you're late. If you're responding to what you're hearing, you're late. It's already happened. Someone has already created that scenario you're walking into and the next one. And so, this explains to me why South Africa, trying to get their land back, has been such a mission. Why Mugabe, even with being like the longest living African president, Pan-Africanist, why he couldn't shake the Babylonians off. It's because one of them is buried at our most sacred shrine. This is as sacred as the pyramids in Egypt, beloveds. And these are the things we need to get behind. This is what we need to be doing at such a time as this. First and foremost, secure your own life. Get your things together. Align your things. Make sure you have your own food supply. Make sure you have your own, off-grid system that you can survive without the matrix and without the systems of the matrix, because that's a decision many of us are going to be taking, as it comes down the pipe with the pandemic. But really, if we want to change Zion, if we want to change, Eden, we have to start at the beginning. We've been doing this the wrong way. You're not going to be free through the system of the oppressor. You have to step out of the system of the oppressor, so the system of the oppressor doesn't matter anymore. And this it's actually really blown my mind. Because he must have understood, like, what a conquering, like, the land remains conquered because he's there. And then he's put a statue of himself in Table Mountain, but that was vandalized. And the thing is, like, this conversation has come back up to the surface. It came up last year in 2020 with everything that happened, because now there's fewer tourist dollars coming in because of the whole, lockdown, etc., etc. And so now the government is actually considering, it's gaining momentum, exhuming his remains. But these are the things we should be chanting for, beloveds. That all our destroyed shrines that they have taken over, that they have labeled national parks, that they have, done their wizardry and magic over. We need to, be reversing that. We need to be praying, chanting, meditating, speaking it, declaring it, asking for it. Declaring it as is more powerful. But that's what we need to be doing at the level that we're at now, so that we can add our voice to the voice of the Zimbabweans who get it and are trying to restore this destroyed shrine. And there's a secret that Stone Man, may his soul rest in power, not even rest, rise in power. There's a story that Stone Man had shared with me about the stone circles. And he told me, like, just before independence, when he was a really young boy, some Muzungus and Asians, some global elite, whether they were Masons, who knows what they were, they came and they performed, like, I think it was a religious kind of elite. I don't know if it was Muslims or what. And they performed certain rituals in the stone circles. And that forever changed the kind of energy and spirit there. So it was being directed somewhere else. And it also made our ancient spirits extremely angry. That's what he was telling me at that time. If we do not restore our destroyed shrines, then really there's nothing we're doing. And that's what the true restoration movement must be about. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, tuko pamoja.